Today, we will explore the factors that influence brain function, including stress, metabolism and exercise, immunity, substance use, and diet and nutrition. Starting with immunity. Prolonged immune responses can damage brain tissue. Also, immune activation increases with age, which is why some neurological disorders can be more prevalent in the elderly. Immune imbalance can impair higher-order brain functions such as problem-solving, decision-making, memory and abstract thinking. Immune signals can also cross over into the central nervous system by the blood-brain barrier. The blood-brain barrier is a semi-permeable membrane which separates the blood and the brain, and allows or denies movement between them. Under normal conditions, the blood-brain barrier blocks all immune cells, except for T cells because they help monitor the brain for infection. Dysfunction of the blood-brain barrier could lead to neurological diseases such as multiple sclerosis, stroke, epilepsy, or Alzheimer's disease. A factor that contributes to neurodegeneration is a compromised peripheral immune system. This contributes to neurodegeneration by allowing microglia to pass through the blood-brain barrier. It also impairs the surveillance of neurotoxic substances, which has also been linked to Alzheimer's disease. Boosting immunity to support brain health can be achieved through consuming natural foods rich in bioactive compounds. Flavonoids in berries, citrus fruits, onions, and red wine neutralize free radicals, reduce inflammation, and promote cytokine production. Carotenoids from carrots, sweet potatoes, spinach, and kale prevent oxidative damage and support mucosal immunity through vitamin A conversion. Polyphenol in dark chocolate, grapes, olives, and apples enhance gut health, control inflammation, and reduce the risk of autoimmune diseases. In addition, early drug use can drastically harm a healthy, developing brain. Drug use produces large surges of dopamine, reinforcing the reward response and promoting pleasure. Beginning drug use while the brain is still developing can teach the brain to seek drugs at the expense of other dopamine-releasing experiences, such as social interaction or achieving goals. Because the brain continues to mature through adolescence and into early adulthood, it is strongly advised to avoid drugs early on. There are three major parts of the developing brain directly affected by drug use. Our basal ganglia is responsible for positive motivation and the formation of good habits. Using drugs during the developmental period can damage this part of the brain. Our prefrontal cortex powers our ability to think, problem solve, and make decisions. The prefrontal cortex is the last area of the brain to fully mature. Early drug use inhibits brain maturation and reduces impulse control, leading to poor decision-making. Lastly, our amygdala controls emotions associated with withdrawal. Frequent drug use causes the developing amygdala to be more sensitive. Continued substance use will result as a way of relieving the overactive withdrawal response, leading to early drug dependency. Metabolism is how your body turns food into energy. It includes two main processes: anabolism, which builds and repairs tissues, like when you gain muscle, and catabolism, which breaks things down for energy, like burning fat during a workout. These two processes are always working together to keep your body in balance. Your basal metabolic rate, BMR, is the energy your body uses at rest for essential functions like breathing, influenced by age, gender, and body composition. Metabolism powers about 20% of your brain's energy use, affecting memory, mood, and focus. It also helps produce important brain chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, and supports BDNF, a protein vital for learning and memory. Exercise, both aerobic, such as running, and anaerobic, such as lifting, boosts metabolism, regulates blood sugar, enhances mental well-being, and reduces the risk of cognitive decline. Even light activity helps, while more intense workouts offer greater brain benefits. Bottom line: regular movement keeps your metabolism strong and supports lifelong brain health. Stress is your body's response to a disruption in its internal balance, triggered by internal or external factors. In response, the body activates physiological and behavioral mechanisms to restore homeostasis. Some common causes of stress include lack of sleep, lack of exercise, poor diet, strained relationships, pressure at work/college, and abuse. Stress is regulated by the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis and autonomic nervous system (ANS). This maintains body balance through brain-body coordination. It communicates through hormones like cortisol to trigger physical and behavioral responses. There are two types of stress: acute and chronic. Acute stress is a normal part of life everyone experiences, such as being nervous before an exam. Chronic stress is long-term stress which can be caused by things like pressure at work or abuse during adolescence. While short-term stress can be beneficial, chronic stress, especially in early life, can interfere with brain development and risk having future conditions like developmental delays, chronic disease, and depression. However, maintaining a healthy lifestyle can significantly reduce stress and support your ability to overcome it. Diet and nutrition also plays an important role in brain development and function. The gut-brain axis is the bidirectional communication pathway between the brain and the gastrointestinal tract that influences digestion, mood, and immune function. Several neurotransmitters involved in the gut-brain axis include serotonin and dopamine, which are involved in appetite, learning, mood, and cognitive function. Additionally, the gut microbiome plays a huge role in this system. When it's imbalanced, it may increase the risk of conditions like anxiety and neurodegenerative diseases. The Western diet consists of an imbalanced diet as it is high in calories, saturated fats, sugars, refined carbs, and omega-6 fatty acids, which can lead to hypercholesterolemia, an increase in blood cholesterol levels. This triggers neuroinflammation, meaning there is an elevated level of inflammatory cytokines, making the brain more vulnerable to Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is a neurodegenerative disease characterized by profound memory impairments, synaptic loss, and neuroinflammation. Furthermore, persistent neuroinflammation results in a decrease in cognitive flexibility due to reduced communication between neurons. Ways we can improve brain function through diet include consuming omega-3 fatty acids, green leafy vegetables, foods packed with antioxidants, complex carbohydrates, vitamins B and D, and probiotics. Understanding the connection between nutrition, development, and brain function is essential for promoting lifelong mental and physical health. Thanks for watching.